Hey guys, Joshua Lindsey here with Fling 2014. We are recapping our Modern Basics class. We just talked about a little bit of the where this dance is headed from where it's been. We talked about momentum-based connection and how we accomplish that. So the first thing we did was we wanted to feel connection in contrast to contact. This is what we call contact. There's not actually any sort of communication going, they're just holding hands basically. What we want to do is kind of back away with our feet and our hips until this rope gets tight in a sense. We just kind of get to this position. We talk about how we want to live here all the time. We don't ever want to be holding hands here because this reinforces the idea that in West Coast swing that we can be neutral in our connection, especially when stopped. So even if you're hanging out listening to your teacher, if you're going to hold hands, make sure that you're in that feeling of stretch. So once we got that introduced, we talked about how you can also do it in closed position. When we do, she's going to really try and Velcro her back to my hand. Again, we're both taking our hips away, and so if we were to let go, there's not any tendency to fall. We're still on balance, but there's just a little feeling of awareness there. So we call this stretch, and we have also on the other side of stretch, we have compression. For compression, we were talking about the fall is really keeping that frame, that shape of the arm consistent the whole time. So I use my right arm typically to bring her forward, stop her with my left, and send her back with my left, and my right hand again catches her. And so we're just developing this compression, stretch, compression, stretch.
Followers, make sure that you're not noodle arm. So when he gives you that compression, don't let him push your arm. Okay, none of this, but push back on it, yeah?
Okay, and we actually built into that. We started with our clothes really living in that stretch. And we started talking about how we can just stay in this plane here, starting very simply, just going back and forth, really trying to pay attention to the idea that she's in that hand the whole time. We want to be very focused on that. We don't just want to be touching each other and swaying. Obviously, there's a drill associated that's going to make us better. Now, as we get this side to side, we then added elevation changes to it, so we can still, again, practice moving together, and then just moving up and down as well as side to side. So from our moving in this plane, we then added shape. We added body shape to our moving around together. And what we talked about was we can either lead with our hips going first, then head on top, hips go head on top, or we do the opposite, where the head goes, then the hips, and the head goes, then the hips. And as we do that, leaders, we want to keep our shape with us. So as my head goes to the side, there's a natural tendency we want to kind of counter sway in this case, but let's kind of sway into it a little bit, but I got to make sure that my hand is connected to my frame, and so that as I do this, she can still feel that. Whichever one I'm using, I don't even really think about what my hand does, I just keep my frame engaged. So when we get here, as we go side to side, I just take my frame there, and she'll start feeling that with me, and as we do our side steps, we just get a little bit of shake there, okay? Also, we can lead with the hips, a little different look. Right? And then from there, we really worked our stretch compression drill. So you had your side to side, up and down, your sway to counter sway, and then our stretch to compression. And the last thing we were talking about was when we get this compression stretch thing going, I'm basically looking to time that weight change on an upbeat so I can bring her forward on a downbeat. So if we're grooving, we have like a 5, 6, 7, she's in stretch, and I lead out of it from there. Okay? So that, do you have anything else?
Yep, really quick, leaders, we also talked about not flying the back of your followers. So none of this, make sure it's nice and flat.
Cool. All right, Joshua Lindsey, you can find us at wcscoach.com. Thanks, guys.